Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, Show's World. Welcome to Show's World, gamers. Josh here, and as this week draws to a close, I wanted to take a few minutes to look at this week's biggest news stories, gaming announcements, and this week's new video game releases. If this is your first time on the channel, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button to join in on the fun. Alright gamers, let's kick off this week in review with some news stories. Now the week kicked off in the midst of the Tokyo Game Show, and while all the major players were in attendance, new announcements were pretty sparse. And the event really showcased and gave us a really good look at some upcoming games like Dragon's Dogma 2, Like a Dragon Ishin, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Ica Please. We will continue to listen to any reports of what may have been shown behind the scenes in the case of the Switch 2 or other unannounced projects. Now in a huge surprising story coming out of Platinum Games, in a post on Twitter, Platinum Games announced Hideki Kamiya will be leaving the company as of October 12th of 2023. A huge name in the industry, he started his career at Capcom, where he directed Resident Evil 2, Devil May Cry, Beautiful Joe, and Okami. He then co-founded Platinum Games and served as vice president and was the director and best known for the Bayonetta series. He did respond in a tweet that this outcome is for the best and that he will continue to create. Now days later, in another shocking move I don't think anybody had on this week's bingo card, reports started surfacing late Wednesday that head of PlayStation Jim Ryan was stepping down and retiring, leaving Sony and his PlayStation CEO position. Jim Ryan has been with Sony for 30 years and PlayStation CEO since 2019. March 2024 is expected to be the official date when Mr. Ryan will officially leave the company. Now, one of the big game releases from last week, and really one of the biggest game releases of the month, was the first-person multiplayer co-op game, Payday 3. Now, while this series is another one of those that you have to create an account to even play, which I find really annoying, I was pretty excited to play this game. Unfortunately, after trying to play the game multiple times over the past week, I've yet to be able to get into a game. This is a known issue that they are working on, but this is a huge disappointment and a disastrous launch for this game. Next up, let's take a look at some gaming announcements. Now, Smallland Survive the Wilds received a console announcement trailer this week. In this open-world multiplayer survival game, you will need to explore dense forests, hazardous swamps, and strange ruins left over from a time before. The online multiplayer game will support up to 10 players. Now, Barbarian Saga Beastmaster is a classic hand-drawn 2D Metroidvania action game coming to the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, as well as Xbox Series systems. The indie side-scroller is heavily inspired by classic 16-bit action hack-and-slash games with fun-looking gameplay and a really cool, smooth, hand-drawn art style. Now, The Legend of Legacy HD Remastered was announced with a trailer this week and an early 2024 release window on the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5. The game is a classic turn-based RPG, but I'm not familiar with the original game. I'm going to keep my eye on this title, although the character models look a little generic in this trailer. Now, Copycat received an announcement trailer this week. The game is listed as a narrative adventure game in which you play as a recently adopted shelter cat who has your place in your human's household stolen by a jealous copycat. The game is coming to the Nintendo Switch, the PC, and PlayStation systems. Alright gamers, let's finish up with this week's new game releases. Now, Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, the new spy thriller expansion for the open-world action role-playing game Cyberpunk 2077 released this week for the PlayStation 5, PC, and Xbox Series systems. A new update also recently dropped for the game, fixing a ton of issues that have been plaguing the game since its release. Early reviews of the expansion are praising it and the game, giving it high scores, saying the game as a whole is finally what we were hoping for when the game originally launched. Now, Infinity Strash Dragon Quest The Adventures of Dai released this week on the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5, PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series systems. The game follows the adventures of Dai manga and anime, where you will take charge of Dai and the disciples of Alban in their battle against the Dark Army in this fun and exhilarating action RPG. Now, EA Sports FC 24 released this week, and it is the rebrand of the former EA FIFA games, as EA no longer has the rights to use the FIFA logo. The game itself will continue to be the same premier football/soccer game that has dominated the gaming scene for years, just rebranded. The game will continue to be the home of 19,000 plus fully licensed players, 700 plus teams, 100 plus stadiums, and 30 plus leagues across the world's most popular international sport. Now, Cocoon is an interesting looking puzzle adventure game where you jump into orbs which contain different worlds. You must combine, manipulate, and rearrange these different worlds in order to solve intricate puzzles. The game did release this week on the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series systems, and this looks like a fun, challenging puzzle game. Alright gamers, that concludes this week in review for the week ending on September 29th. The week started with the Tokyo Game Show taking place over the weekend in Japan. Then, word that a port of Red Dead Redemption 2 may be coming to the Nintendo Switch after it was spotted in a rating board document. And the week ended with us getting a look at a teaser for the upcoming Devil May Cry animated show coming to Netflix. But let me know anything we may have missed in the comments, and thanks for joining us today, gamers. Shows World out.